In this video, I am starting an exciting series. I am really excited that I'll be sharing this information about a subject you can't wait to hear about. And that is the subject of food and cancer. Hello, welcome to Food Decoded, where I help you to reset your relationship with food, lose weight, keep it off for life, and eat healthy. My name is Yemi Fadipe, and I'm so delighted to have you here on my channel today. Over the next series of videos, we will be looking at the risk factors of cancer, the relationship between the food you eat and your risk of developing cancer. What changes can you make to reduce your risk? We will be separating the facts and fiction of cancer. And even more, we will be looking at what food do you need to eat more of or less of to reduce your risk of cancer. So you don't want to miss any part of this series. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is the time to do so. Click on the link below. This information will be coming out in sequence, and I don't want you to miss any part of it or miss the flow. So let's talk food and cancer. A lot of people actually think that cancer is out of their control. If it happens, it happens. While some people, on the other hand, think it can never affect us because cancer is a disease for the rich. Oh my God, that is no further from, that's a big lie. Basically, it is a big lie. Now, if you live in the UK, the statistics show today that 1 in 2 people will develop cancer over their lifetime. That is 50%. Scary. And don't think that because you're not in the UK, oh, this is not your thing. Okay, there are some types of cancer where the risk is higher in white population than the black population. But guess what? There are also specific cancers, especially gastrointestinal cancers, like things affecting the gallbladder, the liver, the pancreas, and stomach or bowel cancer that actually have a higher risk among black people compared to the white population. Let's talk some numbers. For prostate cancer, the chances of developing prostate cancer over a lifetime is twice higher in black male adults compared to the white population. The risk of having gastrointestinal cancers, like I mentioned earlier, like bowel cancer, stomach cancer, pancreatic cancer, gallbladder cancer, is up to 2 times higher in black population compared to whites. And the risk of developing blood cancer over a lifetime is almost 3 times higher in the black population compared to the white population. So let's just establish the first fact. Cancer is no respecter of persons, of color, of race, of status, or money. So you need to be aware. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 main risk factors that affects a person's chance of developing cancer over a lifetime. The first one of those is genetics. Now, only about 5 to 10% of cancers are caused by specific inherited genes. An example of that would be 2 specific inherited genes where their mutation actually is linked to breast cancer or ovarian cancer, and that's the BRCA1 and the BRCA2. Now, it doesn't mean that someone who has these inherited genes will always certainly develop cancer in their lifetime. And it doesn't also mean that if you don't have those inherited genes, you cannot develop those cancers if you do not manage your risk factors. So genetics, is a factor, but just about 5 to 10%. The next risk factor, environmental. Yes, our environment can play a part in the chance of us developing cancer over lifetime. One factor is excessive exposure to sunlight. That is not a big problem for us as black people because thankfully nature has given us this dark color, which is the melanin pigment that protects our skin from the UV rays of light. If you remember my video on vitamin D, what's the big deal about vitamin D? You will remember we talked about this pigment. This pigment is what makes the risk of skin cancer lower in black people compared to the white population. The problem comes in when, as a black person, you start to use bleaching creams that erode the melanin pigment from your body. and that is where the risk of skin cancer becomes elevated in Black people. Another example of an environmental factor that could expose or increase your risk to cancer is pollution, air pollution, especially in countries where the air cleanliness is not monitored, exhaust fumes from old cars, generators, and all of that. I'm sure some of you can identify with this in third world, developing countries, where every house has generators, cars are giving off diesel fumes and all of that. And that happens as well in developed countries. You would notice that in places where this is not monitored, incidences of lung cancers are always higher. So your environment can play a risk. Sometimes we don't have control over this, but when we do, we need to take control of those factors. The third factor you need to be aware of is infectious diseases. There are some infectious diseases that when you have them repeatedly could actually increase your risk of developing cancer. A typical example is the HPV, which can be common in women, and this over time can increase the risk of developing cervical cancer. The good thing is a lot of these infectious diseases are actually managed by vaccination. For instance, in the United Kingdom, from the moment the child becomes a teenager, you get a letter asking you to put them forward for HPV vaccination. I know that people have a lot of controversies around vaccination, but if this is something that can protect you from cancer in the long run, please don't shy away from it. When you get those letters, read it. Go out and get yourself vaccinated against these infectious diseases that could in the long run expose you to cancer. The fourth and the final risk factor is lifestyle. Guys, you know how I get excited when I talk about anything lifestyle. 40% of cancer types can be prevented if we can modify our lifestyle. So things like not smoking, eating healthy, and I will tell you later what eating healthy means with the context of cancer prevention. Weight control. If you are still struggling with your weight, please get my book, The Weight Loss Code, on Amazon. This weight management thing is not a joking matter. We need to get on top of it. Physical activity. And thank goodness, lifestyle factors most of the time actually happen to be modifiable factors, which is why I get excited about it. Anything you can control, please take control of it. In the subsequent videos, we'll be talking about different lifestyle factors and the specific cancer types that they could increase risk and exposure of, and what you can do about that. So don't worry. For now, what I would like you to do, now that you've heard about these 4 main risk factors: genetics, environmental, infectious diseases, and lifestyle, what do I want you to do in the meantime? 1, if you've got family history of cancer, get yourself checked if you've got an inherited gene. With a lot of cancers, early detection is key and life-saving. So if you've been told that you have an inherited gene, don't panic. It doesn't mean that you're definitely going to develop cancer. What it does mean is that you need to follow cancer prevention advice and take control and watch how you eat and live your life. Third, if you've got any vaccination letters coming through that you've ignored in the past, please walk into your GP and ask to be booked in for your HPV vaccination if you're a woman. And please don't ignore these letters in future because they could be saving your life. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is just the surface. In the next video, we will be talking about cancer facts and fiction. What is the truth? So it's going to be myth busting time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so now. And please, please, please don't just watch this and like it on your own. Share it with everybody in your network. I put this together to inform and create awareness among the Black community. And please help me to spread the word. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you and I'll see you in the next video.